So here we are for another What's Going On for Them reading. What's going on for them? What ain't going on for them? Let's have a little look. Oh, oh, not much. Jolly good. One last quick shuffle. I've been shuffling a lot, watching some readings. I do recommend the channel Steve's Love Tarot. I may recommend that, and Gemstone Tarot. Can't remember any of the other names offhand. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay. What's going on for them? Have a little look. Temperance in the reverse. Well, listen, temperance has come up quite a lot in the last few readings, but not in the reverse. Definitely not in yesterday's reading. This angel was there in the upright in yesterday's reading, but it was more like a kind of hopeful balance. Here it's falling to pieces, the magician, but they're not giving up. They're still pulling rabbits out of hats. But nothing lasts forever. The death card. So we've got temperance in the reverse, the magician, and the death card. Oh man, I see almost like a tower energy here. I see someone here in this middle card who is so into whatever they're into. They're so into it. They're so into their games and their tricks that they can't see. They've lost sight of the central point. They're like giddy on themselves. They've lost that central, I think in yoga it's called the drishti, I believe, which is when you just fix your eyes on a certain point on the wall or out the window or whatever. You just fix your eyes straight in front of you on a certain point and you concentrate your vision on that point, and that helps your whole body balance. And if you're a regular practitioner, after a while, you'll start viewing the drishti with your eyes closed. That's very interesting. It's the point between your eyes, basically, the third eye. But I'm seeing it lost sight of here. Okay, that's the initial energy that's coming out. Because this is just, as I say, this person is giddy on their machinations. And they feel very pleased with themselves here. But, you know, death, what can I say? They're not going to escape it. No, no one escapes it. I'm a Buddhist and we talk about old age, sickness, and death. Yeah, and those are some of the great sufferings in life, as well as the great, like, pervasive suffering, which is always wanting essentially things to be other than the way they are. That's the core suffering of the human spirit. And, you know, it's very difficult to overcome that suffering because that suffering is based in the body and the nervous system feels very real, does it not? That's the core suffering. But, you know, the suffering of old age, sickness, and death, there it is. And it will come to everybody in no particular order. I mean, some people face sickness and death before they're old, and that's very sad. But, you know, if you don't die young, you'll die old. What can I tell you? Yeah, so the Drishti has been lost sight of. The North Star has been lost sight of. That's what I'm getting off this initially. Let's see if what comes out next chimes with that thing. Now, this was in this position, I think, in yesterday's reading. The Hanged Man in the upright, looking the other way, looking at things from a different angle. And we always seem to say in our culture in general that that's a good thing. And it is often a very good thing to look at things from a different perspective. But it can also be a way, as I say, of not looking straight at things, not looking at the drishti and the sight of the drishti having been lost. I mean, what's the point of fixing your gaze on the drishti when you're hanging up upside down like that, when you're hanging up, when you're hung up like that? You can't see straight when you're hung up like that. No way. This was in this position in yesterday's reading, wasn't it? You wouldn't believe how much I've shuffled. Hermit in reverse. So this kind of, this solipsism, this is solipsism, which is a kind of, dare I say it, benign aspect of narcissism, where basically everything is seen. Everything that is seen and perceived and experienced is seen and perceived and experienced solely by the individual who is seeing, perceiving, and experiencing them. Solely by them. It is utterly their own experience. And there is no sense of anybody else even like existing, basically, let alone having experiences of their own that are worthy of other people's respect. Solipsism is like looking out of a porthole under the water. Say if you're in a submarine and you're looking out through a porthole and you think that that little bit you can see is all there is, and you don't see that you're looking out through your own little like porthole. This is like a sort of, in a sense, a malignant drishti, where there is this steady view, but there's something kind of monstrously like crippled about this view. Let's keep going. Well, after death, the sun. To embrace impermanence in the death card, and the fact that nothing, no matter how much work you put in, how much effort you make, how busy you are heaping up all that power, you know, the repo man will come and it will be like bits of polystyrene with dog shit on them blown around in the fucking gutter. That's all that will be, all that stuff. And, you know, I'm not trying to be miserable. It's true what I'm saying. And like embracing that unlocks this, the sun, resolution, peace at the end of the long road. You know, we come a long way to get here, baby. And here we are. Beautiful. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. Never mind the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, but yeah, it's the end. It's the end. And this is the happy, clear, bright, unmediated end. I've suddenly got a particular Buddhist mantra, or it's a Vedic mantra in my mind, the Gayatri mantra for this. It's a homage to the sun. And it's the only mantra I know. I've worked with dozens of mantras over the years. And the Gayatri mantra, the worship to the sun, is the only mantra I know of wherein the grammar is plural rather than singular. Most mantras are I and me. But the Gayatri mantra, homage to the sun, is we and us and our. It's plural. It's beautiful. Because as Thomas Hardy said, the sun do shine on the just and the unjust alike. In the words of the tragic and prophetic Tess of the D'Urbervilles. I'm just going to have a little slug of water. We got a malignant drishti here. Like just getting like cancelled here in this final column. Very pleased with themselves, they are. You know, and as a practitioner of meditation and mantra, you know, the number of times I've like felt myself feeling a little bit pleased with myself for the thousands of hours that I've like clocked up on the cushion and the millions of recitations of my foundation mantra, millions over 12 years. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, whew, I'm the goat. I'm not the goat, I'm the gomt. GOMT, greatest of my time. My time meaning my own life. And I am definitely the gomt. But, you know, they're just showing off to themselves. And this is this malignant drishti and this solipsism. It's all about them. They've taken their fucking eye off the ball. Especially of that. Because nothing lasts forever, as we said with such glee yesterday. Empress in the reverse. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, this is the cessation of growth. This is ungrowth, or worse still, malignant growth. I talked about a malignant drishti here, maladapted drishti. This is either lack of growth or malignant growth. Because let's face it, the things we all know of as being malignant, they are growing, and that's what makes us, you know, that's why they do the damage they do. This ain't good. This is really, really not good. You know, at best, they're in a state of sort of suspended animation here. But, you know, this this hermit, this is like the, I mean, the hermit's card number 9. This is like the Hierophant. I'll show you at the end if I remember, because I don't want to look in the pack in case whatever comes up. But this is like the Hierophant who's kind of retired, like some popes do. When they retire and they go into a little cell and they go into like silent retreat. And they just go off and think their thoughts and stare into the flame, which is the same light as we see here in the sun. They just go and stare into the flame and contemplate. But when it's in the reverse, this is either a fool or a madman, or both. Perhaps the magician has made one entity out of the fool and the madman. Not good. Not good. And look, we had the fool in the upright here yesterday, and here it's in the reverse. I've got multiple meanings of this coming at me right now. So I'm just going to do this and have a little think. I think I'm going to need to see the third card on this pile before I say anything else. Famous last words. Yeah. Let's get this. You see, you know, the High Priestess. What a beautiful outcome here. So let's go back. I mean, I think perhaps the significance of this fall in the reverse here in this position is that yesterday it was like that. And I talked about the fact that he's got that M sewn to the back of his tunic, which marks him out in all communities as a wrong 'un. But today it's in the reverse, and it's a different meaning. It's about, this is about being trapped. In this setting, this is about being trapped. And this, I mean, we had the malignant, the corrupt emperor yesterday in this position. You know, the grandiosity and the exceptionalism and the megalomania, the sociopathy. But today we've just got, well, what did I say about the fool and the madman here in the hermit in reverse? And then here's the fool. This whole thing is inevitable, you know, and in this column, something is known Something is simply true. Okay? It's simply true in the High Priestess here in the upright. La Papessa. She's still on the throne. The Hierophant, the High Priest, he's retired, went off into his cave and went mad and is now trapped and has forgotten the truth of this. If he ever dared really contemplate it. I'm going to set 3 more cards aside just in case I start clarifying things, and then I'm going to have a look through the rest of the deck for the Hierophant. And if he's not here, oh no, here he is. Look, I've messed up the deck now. There he is. There's the High Priest pontificating, okay, on his papal throne with his like, do as I say, because I have the word of God, and if you don't, I'm going to smack you over the head with this big stick. He knows it. And they're all there. This is the politicization of wisdom, if you like. This is the reification of the spiritual. This is the real deal. Okay? She don't need no audience. She don't need no acolytes. She don't need no disciples. She don't need no followers. She's good. There's no ego there. There's always a strain of ego in these people, especially if they think they've got the hotline to God. I mean, in Buddhism, there is no central creator God. So even the, even Dalai Lama can't claim to be plugged in to any particular deity, apart from the deity of which he is, of course, the reincarnation, which is the Buddha of compassion, Chenrezig. But anyway, that's for believers only. Only believers, never mind only fans, only believers. I'll tell you what, experience is believing. If you've done millions and millions of a particular mantra, you'll believe it. Yeah, right. I've got 3 cards here. I'm going to finish this off, because I don't see a definitive end here. I mean, this is like a quiet, mad well, not necessarily quiet, but this is like a gradual disintegration into insanity here, fueled by this. And this energy here in the Magician is very, very kind of pleased with himself because he's got all the kit. He's got all the kit and all the skills. And, he has confidence in himself. But the energy around him is like antithetical to his success. But here in the Hermit in reverse and here in the Fool in reverse, it's not obvious. Well, it's clearly not obvious to the Magician that there's an inner disintegration happening, and he's trapped. Basically, he's trapped. And that what he thought was balance is actually now just kind of, again, it's just disintegration with Temperance in the reverse. And kind of hung up on a particular way of looking at things, which is blocking growth. But I mean, you can block growth all you want, or you can grow malignant shit all you want. It's all going this way to the Death card. But I mean, death isn't the end of the cycle, not in tarot. This is not about the end. This is about accepting the reality of impermanence. And when you really accept the reality of impermanence, your whole life gets opened up in a way that you wouldn't believe. And there's the sun. Absolutely beautiful, because it is written. High Priestess. Let's get 3 to finish off. Justice, the Chariot, and the Star in reverse. Well, I was talking, you see, I was talking about this malignant drishti, wasn't I? And I was thinking about the Star card. There's the drishti, okay? The North Star, that's the direction you look in. It's the direction of travel. I mean, I can see a scenario here in these three cards, Justice, the Chariot, and the Star in reverse. Do you know what? I think this person, whoever they are, might actually win, so to speak. They might actually win and things might actually go their way. But when the forces ranged against them, or the forces that are antithetical to this, I mean, I'm just going to stick that over there because, you know, that says it all. That's your malignant drishti. When this is on the table, you know, win all the prizes and accolades you want. Strut your stuff in that chariot. But I tell you this, one day, that crown on your head or on their head is going to be down on the ground there, just about to get crushed under the inexorable force of that chariot. Fortunes rise, fortunes fall. And even if you win, win all you want. That's the shape of it. Repo man coming to a town near you. Well, near them soon. Listen, I know this is all a bit like grim and dark and everything, but never mind that. We got the sun. Woohoo! And we got that. If you know what really matters and if you know what is really true, and I mean true, and I don't mean your truth or their truth and all this fucking relative bullshit. Some things are just true. And if you know what they are, there's your drishti. This person doesn't. But just because they don't know what's true doesn't mean it isn't true. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.